It's no secret that illegal weapons have contributed to 60% of serious crime in the country. And with the murder count at 107 for the year, a special committee comprised of Bahamian and American officials met today at police headquarters to exchange perspectives and priorities and identify how the neighboring countries can coordinate efforts to counteract the trafficking of illegal drugs, weapons, and humans. It's a partnership and a dialogue that officials hope will yield positive results. Deputy Assistant Secretary of the United States, Liliana Adelaide, says both countries have a shared interest in ensuring the safety of visitors and locals alike.
As the means and methods of criminals continues to change, law enforcement means and methods also needs to adapt to meet these challenges. Law enforcement personnel must be well equipped and well informed. Increased funding and more expansive interpretation of the range of issues involved in citizen security have allowed our partnership to include institutions like the Majesty's Prison and the Bahamas National Drug Council, which is doing important work on preventing crime and reducing the demand of drugs. Our goal during this meeting is to encourage a dialogue on citizen security and bilateral law enforcement priorities to ensure that we understand one another as we carry out this very important work.
Prime Minister Perry Christie says he's very concerned about the level of crime in the country, noting that we are now plagued with persons killing with a wanton disregard for human life. He said there is a significant percent of illegal weapons that enter the country that come from Florida. And at the meetings, he said it is the fulfillment of a promise made with the U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on continuing efforts to address the many crime challenges. Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage, also at the meeting, says that strong social intervention plans such as urban renewal are necessary as the link between guns and drugs remain a serious concern that contributes to serious crime.
We speak of near 5 million people coming to the Bahamas. We're speaking about the bulk of them being Americans. We're speaking of a world that is plagued by terrorism. And we're speaking of terrorists who have grown in sophistication over the years. That alone requires very close relations between the Bahamas and the United States of America and the region. So when I spoke to the Secretary, I said to her, Madam Secretary, I am deeply concerned about the incidence of guns coming into our country, illegal weaponry. And I said, so that you understand the context of my remarks, I've just been in for several days into office, but I also speak on behalf of the region. It's also plagues the region. And I happen to believe that the United States of America, with its sophistication in intelligence and its resources, can do more to help us stop that flow into the Bahamas.
A major contributing factor to the scourge of drug-related crime, gun-related crimes in our countries has been the trafficking of narcotics together with the availability of firearms. We've seen that firearms have been the weapons of choice for the protection of the contraband during transportation and are also smuggled in along with drugs. There's also been evidence that illegal drugs are traded for illegal firearms in addition to cash. These weapons are used for protecting turf, for intimidating customers and competitors, for empowering recruits into criminal enterprises, for maintaining discipline, and for executing informers. As such, we've seen a direct correlation between the drug trade, illegal firearms, and violent criminality.